that, let's send it out to our broadcast team. Brandon Guyton and Charles Davis with this Week 2 matchup.
EA Sports coverage takes us to one of the newest jewels on the NFL landscape, U.S. Bank Stadium in Minneapolis. Tonight, we've got a great Sunday night matchup between the Chicago Bears and the Minnesota Vikings. And that's a big collision. He's knocked backward as they will mark him down. So here are the Bears now for their opening drive. At a glance at the man under center at 6'5", he always demands attention. They go play action here on first down. Rush coming, and he's taken down. Well, for last week's performance, which was so good, he was named NFC Defensive Player of the Week. He got a lot of praise, and understandably so, from national media. Looking pretty good on that play, too.
And I love what he told us this week before the game. He talked about how much time they spend working on pass rush moves, every position, because anyone could go after the quarterback in their defense, and you can see how they've all absorbed their lessons.
Now back to throw. And he's taken down. Back at his own 7.
Now, I know we're only 2 plays in, but after giving up back-to-back sacks, something has to change with the protection, and they can't wait to halftime to make an adjustment.
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. And incomplete. He had nowhere to throw, so he just tossed it away. But that brings up 4th.
Are we on the same page here, partner? Because I think they have the right idea. Just take what you can get on 3rd and forever.
Yeah, in real life, I'd say yes. It's just these video games are tempting. You want to go downfield with it.
I like the way you've evolved.
Yeah.
You know, you've learned how to play it the Madden way.
They only punted twice in the win last week as he gets this one away. That's pulled in at the 32. A good return there, call it 13 yards. And the offense will take over with a new set of downs. So here's the Viking offense making their way out. And they will be led out by their 6'4" quarterback. They'll come out throwing here to start the drive. Oh, he's going to take a shot right away. That's going to be knocked away and incomplete. And the Buffet boys, the O-line, hopefully they're ready today.
Listen, you got to feed them first. But if you do, you usually get a great product out on the field. And when they play well, the quarterback can't wait to feed them afterwards.
So incomplete on first. Let's see what second down has in store.
Come on, let's go. Flex round.
They'll set up to throw. He's going to fire one deep over the middle. Got a man. It's caught inside the 10. Touchdown, Vikings. A big play there. His second touchdown on the season. And the Vikings have taken a first-quarter lead. They scored the most points of anyone on opening weekend, and now first-quarter touchdown here.
And while there's no guarantee that all the points they scored in opening weekend are going to hold up and be the average all year long, they're certainly starting to set that type of a pace. And what you do with that is you put in the heads of all of your opponents, we got to really be ready on defense because these guys know how to put the ball in the end zone.
You think they can keep piling on the points like this?
I think they can if they're prepared to adjust and adapt because they won't see the same defenses week in and week out.
And he'll make it across the 20 as his guys will set up shop at the 23-yard line. And now Chicago getting ready to go as they take the field. And they'll certainly be trying to do better than that first drive where they went 3 and out.
And sometimes the first drive is just simply to settle nerves. You know what it's like at the start of a game with the emotion. Guys are a little bit jumpy.
You do.
Oh, you understand the same way. Just like us calling one, right? Making sure we ease into the game, let it come to us.
Well, you went
and
3
now
and
they
out.
have that opportunity.
No, you didn't go 3 and out. I went 3 and out on that first drive. I'll try to do better here. The numbers for him from a week ago. 20 carries, 71 yards.
That's a good start to the season. They got the win, and they were able to establish a good running game. Nothing that just blew people away, but a nice solid base to get things started. And they expect that to get tuned up and get better as the season moves on.
And a hit jarred it loose. It's incomplete. And this O-line, it is the lifeblood of the offense.
They establish the tone. Mean, nasty, physical. They can't wait to get after people. That allows the rest of the offense to feel confident.
And the Vikings with an extra defender in the secondary on third.
Playing coverage here.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And this time he's going backwards. So after the no gain on the last attempt, here they get him behind the line.
Yes, indeed. That play there, that reminds me of some of the guys that I played with that have that suddenness, able to get into the backfield almost about the time the ball snapped and make a play. How about that tackle for a loss?
Absolutely. He did a lot of that last week when he was named the NFC Defensive Player of the Week. One of the guys on the team was saying, yeah, we called him the disruptor. And that's carrying forward again.
Makes sense, doesn't it?
Very good return that time. 18 yards. And out will come the offense as they take over. And now out comes Minnesota. They'll be looking to duplicate the efforts of drive number 1 that resulted in 7 points in the 7-zip lead.
Well, you know how much I enjoy horse racing, right? Looks like they caught a flyer out of the gate, as they would say when you're running the big-time races. Means they get out to a fast start. They're setting the pace, making the other team chase now.
Oh, the ball comes out on the hit, but they'll say it's incomplete. So 2nd and 10 here. He'll drop to throw. He's going to air one out. And it's knocked away and incomplete. And as a first-rounder, a lot of eyes on him, a lot of expectations.
And he has to play well in his rookie year. Those days of coddling guys and bringing them along slowly, those days are long gone. When you're drafted in the first round, they expect you to play right away. And the community's eyes and fan base, they'll be on you the entire way.
And you take a look at this draft class from a season ago, really it grades out as a pretty darn good. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football.
On plays like this where the ball comes free, it's often unusual for the team that lost it to get it back. Because this is the quarterback. The ball gets away from him. Everyone else is trying to execute what they're supposed to do on offense. They're usually looking in the other direction, downfield, or have moved away from him. In this case, though, a teammate is able to come up with the ball.
And how about this? 4th and long, and they're going to go for it.
Let's go.
They're going to try and throw. He's going to fire one deep, middle, and got his man complete. And he's taken down, but not before he gets this into enemy territory across the 40. So after that big play, let's see if they can catch their defense maybe on their heels.
Let's go.
Back to throw now on 1st down. He's going to fire one deep over them. It's caught in the end zone. Touchdown, Minnesota. Good start to the season for him. He had the touchdown last week in the opener and a second one in week 2 now.
How about the pace he's already established, right? Not sure he can keep it up for an entire season, but don't burst the bubble because he thinks that he can.
Do guys go into a season with a goal for touchdowns scored or yardage? What do you think?
I think every single one of the guys who's going to touch the football, they all have those types of goals. They all have those types of thoughts. And then they just have to see how the season unfolds if they can stay with it.
Unfolding so far so good for him. This is fielded a couple yards deep. And now running right through it. And all that worked, but he stopped where he ultimately would have been, and he's simply taken a knee, and that's the 25-yard line. And now the Bears coming out as they get ready. Already down 2 touchdowns here in the first half. This becomes a pretty important drive, doesn't it?
It certainly does, and a lot of teams script plays. We know that, right? They have a script to start the ball game, and typically those scripts go between 12 and 24, 25 plays. Down 2 touchdowns early, probably not very deep into their script. I think that they'll stay with it. I don't think they'll abandon it just yet and try and generate some offense on this drive.
Anything. At least 3 points, get that 0 off the board. A huge play there for Chicago. And even 60 yards on the ground. And you hear it all the time, but that's one of the dangers of the blitz. You get past that first wave, nobody else is there.
And when teams blitz, what they're trying to do is make you lose your poise, lose your timing and your tempo. But when you hold it together, you can really hurt them the other way, getting past that first wave.
They stopped after only a yard, taking it down to the 14. They'll run it now out of the gun. Try to find a lane, but instead he'll get back to the line of scrimmage and no more. Now we're going to get a stoppage. Appears to be an injured Bear on the field. While the trainers take a look, we'll step aside. So now 3rd and 10, a big play to start the drive, but nothing since.
Here we go now. Green, 39.
Looking to throw. That's complete right around the 8. And he is in. Touchdown, Chicago. And there they got him the ball. Just get it to him, let him do the rest.
You know, he probably said that to his quarterback as he broke the huddle. I like the play call. Just get it to me. I'll take care of the rest of it.
Helping out his rack, right? RAC?
Run after catch, and he loves that, and he's going to carry that in at contract time.
The drive summary, 4 plays, 75 yards. And it culminates in a touchdown for Chicago. Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. Fielded about a yard deep. And he'll take it up past the 25 to the 26-yard line. Now out comes their leader and the captain of this offense back onto the field. He's showing off that arm, showing it off very well. They've got the lead. Don't forget, though, about the protection he's had. The protection's been good.
And I'll guarantee you he hasn't forgotten about it at all, because that's keeping him clean in the pocket, allowing him to step into throws and make those deep passes come true. I mean, it's just been beautiful for him to do. But guess what? In the huddle, on the sidelines, guaranteed he's thanking those big guys up front for keeping him safe. I have a feeling he may even buy dinner.
Indeed, entertaining to relive some of those deep balls.
Here we go. Ohio.
They'll try and start this drive in the air. Going down the middle, and it's complete. And he's brought down, but not before getting across midfield to the 45. He got 29 yards that time. On that catch, he's already eclipsed 100 yards here in the first quarter. Charles, he's on pace for over 400.
And playing with great confidence, isn't he? I think he probably had it coming in.
And he fires one that's intercepted. Picked off inside the 5. And he will be brought down, but he's got the interception on the final play of this first quarter. So possession changes hands on the final play of the first quarter. They take over 1st and 10 following the interception. Now a handoff here to his running back. And this one goes nowhere. Losing yardage back at the 22. That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be 2nd down. I'm no offensive mastermind, but of all the guys on the field to block, you might want to stop him.
Look, I've got a very simple rule. An unblocked defender is usually your best defender, and he ended up making the play there.
And he stopped immediately there. Maybe a gain of a yard that time, but yeah, from the spot, actually no gain. So 3rd and long. And as a defensive end, getting off the ball quickly, swarming to the football, making a tackle, that's what we saw right there.
Yeah, that's what their job is. And really, a lot of the time, they have to throttle back a little bit in the run game, because you know those defensive ends, they're like in a sprinter stance. They're just
He rifles one that's intercepted. Picked off at the 24. And he will take this one home. It's a touchdown. Third down, passing down. They throw the extra defensive back in there for a nickel package, and it worked out.
And it's not anything that you would think is just great strategy. It's just that when you have 5 defensive backs on the field and an obvious passing down, it's a lot tougher to complete a pass. And on that play, they completed it just to the wrong team, and it cost them 6 points.
It's good, and it is now 21-7. So they'll get another shot on offense following that pick 6. And now the kick is away. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And he'll be knocked down sideways at the 24-yard line. Out comes this field general once more, leading his offense back onto the field. Now, Charles, it's the second quarter. Your team's losing. You're not playing well as the quarterback, but like I said, it's the second quarter, so how worried right now? Under a heavy rush, and down he goes. This may be one of the best stretches of defensive football that I've seen. I don't know about you. 5 sacks last week, now 3 here in this affair.
I would agree with that, and I've enjoyed watching the skill that's gone into it. You can see the intelligence behind it as well. He's watched tape, and he's setting people up, but relentless. That's the one word that keeps coming to mind. He does not want to be denied at getting to the quarterback.
And they're not denying him.
Well, we always talk about how you've got to be quick when you go through your progressions, and here's another prime example. Trying to look downfield, he was standing in the pocket, but just couldn't find anyone open, could he?
No, not enough time. They hit him and forced that incompletion. Looking left side, and he's got a man. That's Peterson. It'll be a gain of 8, but it'll also lead to a 4th down.
One hallmark of good defenses is understanding the game, understanding positioning, and tackling immediately in the secondary after catches. I think we just saw that on display right there.
Got to him before he ever had a chance to think about turning it upfield. Taking it about the 16.
Whoosh.
Touchdown, Vikings.
When you got a guy that fast back there to receive punts, that's a nightmare for the guy game planning, the special teams coach. It's also a nightmare for the punter. Sometimes they get so nervous that they mishit the ball and kick it right to him.
The call is to go for 1 and kick the extra point. He knocks it through. It's 28-7. So after the punt return touchdown, let's see what their opponents can do with this kickoff. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And it's a pretty good return here as he'll get it up to the 29-yard line. Here's the Chicago offense coming back out onto the field. And with this deficit, you can't have too many more drives like the last drive where you had to punt it away.
You know what I would tell my offense right here? The punter doesn't exist, guys. He doesn't even exist. He's not a team anymore. I just cut him. All right? So you've got to go out and create some offense for us here and give us some points. No way does that guy get on the field in this drive.
Poor punter.
Yeah, it wasn't his fault. But, hey, listen, there's got to be casualties at times. We're trying to win a game.
A solid run on first down. Gain of 7 leaves him with a 2nd and 3. Now a shotgun snap as they'll look to throw. And his throw is incomplete.
The one thing that I've liked defensively is that they've shown him a lot of different looks here in the first half. They've come after him. They've sat back. I think that's what you need to do to keep an offense guessing.
And they certainly have kept them on their toes. That's why they haven't had much success on the scoreboard. On third down. That's Barton. And shutting him off. Now open field. He's got a first down and then some at midfield. And all the way down to the 24-yard line. And now the Vikings are going to stop it here on defense with a timeout. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this second quarter. And now a first down following that long gain. And now here's a carry heading left. And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line. They'll wind up losing 3 yards here. And it'll bring up a 2nd and 13. 2 minutes to go here in the first half. We remind you that coming up at halftime, Larry Ridley will have the highlights and analysis of this first half from our studios in Orlando.
And I have a feeling those highlights will be pretty one-sided, too.
Yeah, I think you're right, partner. And they'll bring him down at the 18-yard line. And they'll get 9 there as that sets him up better for 3rd down.
And when you're playing a quarterback with some experience and some moxie, you enter the danger zone when you decide to blitz him, because if he's able to diagnose as he did on that play, he can hurt you downfield.
He reads defenses so well, doesn't he?
He really does, and the best part about that play for him, I don't think that was his primary target.
I don't think so either.
I think he had the read, figured out where the blitz was coming from, and went to a secondary target for a really nice game.
From the shotgun, he'll look to throw. Got his man, and it's caught for a Chicago touchdown. And all about timing there on that short slant, Charles.
Exactly right. That was timed up so well. The route, the throw, touchdown.
It's up and good, and it's now 28-14. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. This is fielded at the goal line. And a pretty good return here. He'll be stopped just shy of the 25 at the 24-yard line. Here again comes the captain of this offense, leading his crew back out there now. And he's looked pretty good. Does have the 1 interception, but 2 touchdown passes so far. Your analysis?
They'll take the offset. When you talk about throwing 2 touchdown passes, no one wants to see an interception thrown, but those things happen in the course of a ball game and over the course of a season. But throwing 2 touchdown passes, that's why the team has an advantage. That's what they're looking for more of.
They'll be hoping to make it a 3-to-1 ratio here in the second quarter. Trying to shake off the interception. He'll look to throw. And he'll go down. The Bears get there for the sack. Great job defensively. I think he was trying to go through his progressions, find someone to get rid of the football. Before he knew it, he was on his back.
So that just brings us right back to what you said in the beginning. A great job defensively. Nowhere to go with the football. That led to the sack.
He's going to rifle one deep left side. And he fires one that's intercepted. Picked off at the 36. And he'll get this one out to the 50 to the midfield stripe.
So that's back-to-back drives where they've thrown an interception. Ordinarily, we look at the offense and say, what's going on with your scheme? Maybe we should look at the defense and just give them a whole lot of credit. They've got them frustrated right now.
From the midfield stripe, they'll look to throw. Quick hitter here, it's complete. Now the Bears going to call the first of their timeouts as the clock stops here with 46 seconds remaining in the first half. The gun. They'll look to throw. And he'll go out of bounds after taking it a little further down inside the 40. A gain of 4 that time as the drive continues.
An ex-teammate used to tell me all the time, I hate experienced quarterbacks because no matter what, you really can't hide what you're doing. And I think that right there, he knew right away where the blitz was coming from, where his primary guy was going to be, and he ended up going to a secondary target for a nice game.
I was just going to ask you, that wasn't the primary target, and he's so good at that, isn't he?
I think he knew right away that he wasn't going to get to his primary guy. I think he read that as soon as he got to the line of scrimmage, knew where the pressure was going to come from, and said, I know how to beat that, and that's what he did.
They'll set up a throw. And it's a short one here, complete to the tight end. Oh, and now he bowls him over. And he takes this one in for a Bears touchdown. These two teams in this first half, it's been fun. Back and forth, back and forth. Well, it's not fun for the defensive coordinators, but offensive coordinators are enjoying it.
Yeah, they're having streaks here, aren't they? Being able to put scores together and really bunch them up, and we have a tight game here. You know, we often talk about having the right shoes for the right turf. Today it's track shoes. That's what we've seen with these offenses.
Yeah, it's been an absolute track meet so far and fun to watch. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. This will be taken in at the 1. And some space here. And he's loose again. 20, 10, touchdown, Vikings. So how about the game he's having? He had the punt return earlier for a touchdown. Now the kick return to balance things out.
And oftentimes, guys who are on punt return and kickoff return, many of them are the same guys. And they're devoted to a return guy who can break big plays. And when that happens and they know it's there, they're going to block that much harder and be that much more skillful, as well as utilizing his talents. And this is what you get. Punt return, kick return, a huge game.
So now the other return teams out there as they'll try to duplicate what they just saw. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And a nice return sets him up pretty good here at the 30-yard line. They'll come out throwing here on first down. Out to the flat. That's complete to his running back. And he'll be brought down shy of the 40 at the 38-yard line. Now a signal and a timeout call as it comes with 9 seconds to go in this first half of play.
Here we go. Green 39. Green 39.
Now they'll throw here out of the gun. And that is incomplete, stopping the clock with 5 seconds to go.
Not too many things get to a quarterback of this magnitude, but I think it's safe to say that pressure can get to any quarterback.
Now, he's obviously a great franchise quarterback, but felt the pressure, threw it incomplete. They're going to look to throw. And it's incomplete. Both players had a shot at that one. Neither can get it, and it brings up 4th down. When they need to play on 3rd down, you kind of know what direction the ball's going, but the defense knew it too.
Yeah, it's a good call because they wanted to put 2 men on him, and they did. Dare him to throw into double coverage. Really what you're saying is, let's see if one of your other receivers can beat us.
Hurry up, here we go. Green 39.
They'll throw now on the final play. Into heavy traffic, and it's intercepted. Picked off at the 39. There he goes left side. And he will take this one home. It's a touchdown.
Partner, what we just saw, that's a great example of a team that was really amped up. They've been playing so well, yet they didn't get overexcited and have a bust on defense and gave up a big play. Instead, they created their own big play with a pick 6. This one may be over.
Yeah, it's just the first half, but that lead has swelled to the point where you're wondering if it is over already. And the lead now to 3 touchdowns at 21 points. So we've reached halftime in a wild. You folks don't know what you're missing. Missing Larry Ridley. Ready to get back, though, to this Week 2 matchup. Let's get to it. This is taken at the 3. Twisting away. And he goes out of bounds just shy of the 40, right around the 39, so solid starting field position. Out come the Vikings. They'll have it first on offense as we begin the 3rd. They built a good first-half lead. Now they have a chance to add on to it.
And what I'm thinking is that the offensive staff spent the entire halftime just working with them on, here's what we think they're going to do to attack us in the second half. Nice first half that we've had, guys, but be prepared for some change-ups. We're going to see them when we kick it off in the second half.
See how they handle any adjustments that might be made defensively. That one goes for 13 yards, and it moves the sticks.
At this stage of the game, the run-pass numbers are a little bit out of whack because most of their yardage has come through the air. But in a sense, that just sets things up for big runs like that because the defense might be a little bit off balance. They pick up another first down with that run.
And the tight end goes in motion left. Now on first, Dixon again. And he'll get this down only to about the 46. A gain of 3, second down.
Third quarter and you've got the lead. You're not ready to go into that 4-minute offense to close the game out, but a running game can really benefit your team right now.
See if they stay on the ground for second down.
Let's go. Flex round. Flex round.
They'll bring a receiver in motion right. Now they'll run it on the toss. Flashy little move, but unable to reach the 40. And still about 3 yards shy of a first as the 4-yard pickup brings it to third down. In motion comes the tight end left. Now they'll run it on the toss. And he gets it to the 32. Good enough for a first down. It's a 10-yard pickup, and it moves the chains.
They're trying to show that they can run the ball and protect this lead. Give it to the backs, play a little bit of keep away, don't you think?
And that's probably a good philosophy at this point, going to make that defense stand up and stop them. On first down, they go with Dixon, finding room to the 20, and inside the 20 before he's brought down. Back-to-back nice gains, that one for 14 yards and another first.
Well, that's the desired outcome coming out here in the second half of being able to run the football and establish a little bit of pace and maybe even a bit of dominance at the line of scrimmage. And they want that to continue. Way too early to think about this being ball control time. But the way they're running it, you got to think they may want to continue that and see if they can go ahead and grind their opponents into submission.
That one good for 10 yards. And that'll bring up a second and just about a few inches here.
Not an ideal spot to be on first down, but I love that the play caller did not immediately abandon the running game and say, okay, we've got to throw it in order to pick it up. Stayed with the run, was rewarded with a big-time pickup. Now they're in second and manageable.
They'll send a receiver in motion to the right. On second down, it's Dixon, and he is swallowed up right at the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play, and now they're faced with a 3rd and 1.
Now, I can't imagine any celebrations being any bigger than your first NFL touchdown. And this rookie running back is still seeking his. He's not going to get it on that play.
Just a yard, but that's all they needed, and by the slimmest of margins, it'll be 1st and goal. On 1st and goal, Dixon. And they'll be driven back here, losing yardage to the 9. It's a loss of 2 there, bringing up 2nd down.
So the myth has been shattered. Every cornerback in the league is not just a cover corner. Some of them will stick their nose in there and make plays exactly as we just saw there. A big loss suffered by the offense after that nice tackle.
And he'll get into the end zone. Touchdown, Minnesota. A great effort there. His 3rd touchdown now on the year. And the Vikings find a way to stretch their lead. Heck of a start to his season. He had 2 touchdowns in the opener last week, another one here in week 2.
Well, I don't want to call him a touchdown machine this early, but sometimes you get locked in, and you feel good about things. You get into that zone, and those touchdowns come in bunches. He may be off to that kind of a start.
It's like he was shot out of a cannon. I would imagine success this early, great momentum going forward for the rest of the year.
He keeps this up, they'll soon be chanting MVP anytime he touches the ball.
This is fielded a couple yards deep. And he'll take it back to about the 19-yard line. Now we take a glance at the offense as they work their way back out for their first possession of the second half. They trail offense, first time to touch the ball in quarter 3, and we'll see what they can do.
And I can't wait to see what they have planned, because some teams script to start a half. Other teams just go, okay, these are the sequence of plays we want to run. These things worked well for us. And sometimes they throw in that big chunk play right away.
Shocker.
Try and get after them early and try and create a big play to give themselves some momentum.
See what they have up their sleeve. run it now out of the gun. And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line. It'll be a loss of 1, and that's going to lead to a 3rd down.
From our vantage point, that was just one bad play by the offensive line in a series of really good ones tonight, but I know that they're going to be really ticked off. It's a lot like a baseball pitcher losing a no-hitter late in the game.
And incomplete here on 3rd down.
This defense is continuing to contest every deep ball that is thrown downfield. And, look, it doesn't matter whether you're playing man or zone. Eventually, that becomes man-on-man, and you've got to trust yourself and go up at that moment of truth and make a play on the football.
He gets this one away, and, boy, it's another boomer. This is taken at the 23. Might have been one man away from 6 points. As it stands, it's a huge return. And the Vikings, they'll be set up well as they take over in great field position. 1st and 10. The Vikings offense now, they get ready to head back on the field. And it's a unit last drive that did it all on the ground, Charles.
And they controlled it from the interior, big on big, right? Offensive lineman versus defensive lineman. But, you know, in order to keep the football moving downfield, other people have to get involved as well. Your wide receivers, your tight ends, lead runners, anything that you have possible to get in front and keep the ball moving.
And now the defense may be looking out for a pass coming up. It's a 6-yard pickup, and it gets them to 2nd and 4.
Let's talk a little football 101 here, because one of the keys to advancing the ball downfield, success on 1st down. Huge difference, as we know, between 2nd and 4 and 2nd and 8 and 9.
They'll keep it on the ground. It's Dixon again. He's going to be out of bounds on what's going to wind up being the final play of quarter number 3. Back now at beautiful new U.S. Bank Stadium. They'll bring a receiver in motion right. On the toss play, this is Dixon. And they go the wrong way here. Knocked back to the 20. It's a loss of a yard there, and now 2nd down.
Let's go! Grand 38! Grand 38!
And they'll send the tight end in motion left. Dixon on the pitch. And he will lose yardage here back at the 23-yard line. So 1st and 2nd down went in the wrong direction. They'll try to do better here on 3rd and 13. Back to throw. He's got his man. It's taken in for a Viking touchdown.
And this game is definitely over, but we do know some people like to go ahead and continue to add to their score, don't we?
Yeah, I don't know that they need to add any more right now, though. I'm just starting to think about those dinner plans tonight, my friend.
Well, you and I will be thinking about dinner plans, but we also know that plenty of people are thinking, how can I get some more scores for my fantasy, for other things? They're trying to figure that part out now.
By the way, last weekend we went sushi because that's what you wanted. We're going steak tonight.
I'm in.
All right. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And he'll take this one near the 25, call it the 26-yard line. The Bears offense now heading back out onto the field. These guys had to punt their last possession, and that's become too familiar of a refrain. Too many of these drives just wound up going nowhere.
But you know how in baseball, when the pitcher gets a base hit and he's on base, they bring his jacket out to him to keep him warm? A lot of times the punter goes to the sideline, puts on sweatpants or a wrap over his leg to keep it warm. He might need a massage from the trainer right now from all the work he's getting. He's got to be kicking himself right there. His team's already picked off 2 passes. That would have been the 3rd in the game. And, boy, they've really played well in attacking the football.
Now he'll look to throw here on 2nd and 10. Throw left side complete. It's Peterson. And they'll take him down at the 31-yard line. 4 yards on the completion, and it sets up a 3rd down. The Bears on third down. They've converted a third of their opportunities, 3 for 9. This will be 3rd and 6. They'll look to throw. Quick throw, that's complete on the inside slant. And he will have first down yardage as he's brought down at the 41. A nice pick up there, 10 yards, and it'll move the sticks.
That was a nicely run slant route, and what the receiver's trying to do is make the defender think he's going upfield for a deeper route and then breaks it off, usually after about 3 to 4 steps, and cuts towards the middle of the field. And now what he's trying to do is use his body to keep the defender away from the football and give the quarterback a really nice target. Some think that teams really won't throw a slant route unless you have a receiver that has a lot of stature to him. But sometimes the little guys, they get lost in there. People can't really locate them, and they run that quick cut on the slant, and oftentimes they can turn it into big plays.
And he'll be brought down right at midfield after a gain of only a couple.
This is what happens sometimes when you abandon the running game. It's hard to get back to it because once guys get out of that mentality of firing out and hitting people, hard to get them started again occasionally.
False start's going to push him back, but these days, how hard must it be to be an offensive lineman?
It's very hard, Brandon. You've got defensive linemen flinching, trying to draw you off sides. You've got the loud crowds, and there are just so many super athletic players on defense now that you have to deal with each week. But through it all, these guys just sit in there for 4 quarters and slug it out.
On third down, that's Barton, and I don't think he got there. No, they stop him right where it all started. Calling no gain there, and it leads to a 4th down.
And there's a nice stop for the defense. They've had a tough time containing this guy all game long, but maybe they can build a little bit off of that play, a little bit of confidence, a little bit of momentum. Yeah, every now and then you can actually tackle that guy.
33 yards is the distance on the punt there. And the Vikings now heading onto the field. And this game comfortably in hand. The scoreboard speaks for itself, but you still got your starting quarterback out there. When do you go to the backup? Let him get some time.
And that's one of the great questions in the NFL, Brandon, because I'm just going to tell you, in the 2015 season, I commentated on 3 games in a row.
And that's caught inside the 30. It's a big one there for the Vikings. 54 yards.
And they just hit another big completion there. And I think in days gone by in the NFL, you might have asked, is this a little bit of overkill? Is this rubbing it in? I don't think people feel the same way nowadays.
It's the age-old argument. Then you could say on the other side, if you're going to get... And he will get into the end zone. It's another touchdown. This thing is ugly. Still an important piece of business to take care of, the extra point. Now this one was over a while ago as they just add on to their big lead. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. There again is the running back as he trots onto the field. And there are the numbers. Got off to that torrid hot start. We thought he was in for maybe a career day. Not the case.
No doubt about it. It almost looks like a misprint after what we saw in the first half. But let's give a little bit of credit to the guys on the other side of the ball. They went in at halftime, made a few adjustments. And you know what else? They didn't lose their confidence in their ability to play. Because a lot of times you get beat down in the first half. It gets ugly in the second half. They've come out with a new resolve and a renewed determination.
That one whistled against a big right tackle.
You'd think being able to fire out and block it'd be a lot easier to not commit a holding penalty, but it's tough to keep those guys right in front, isn't it?
And looked like some movement there. Let's get the call. And that'll be accepted, of course, and that moves him back 5. They'll drop to throw. Nowhere to go here. He lost gets the football. And the offense will cover this one up, but they'll be pushed back inside their own 10. So they escape, so to speak, maintaining the football. Defensively, though, opportunity miss.
It definitely was, because that's all defenses talk about. Getting the football and either advancing it the other way or just getting possession and turning it over to their offense.
And this turns into disaster. He's not going to get forward progress. That'll be a safety. Things are just going from bad to worse now. It's a safety that does him in here, and that is one frustrated offensive unit.
They can't get out from under their own shadow right now. I mean, I know this is the NFL, but could you imagine a college crowd right now? Imagine what they'd be doing. They'd be chanting, "Start the bus," because they think this one is over.
And remember, following the safety, you give the football up as well, and they free kick it from the 20 now. That's fielded at the 8-yard line.
Well, not exactly a banner return, so he doesn't give his offense a whole lot of room to work with. They've got to go a long way now to try and score some points. I do know this from experience. There will be a few comments muttered his way by the offense as they head out on the field.
And not great starting field position here for the offense.
Come on. Come on, let's go. What? None. Ohio.
That one looks like he'll throw here. He's going to look deep down the field. Oh, this is taken in. It's complete. The 30. Past the 20. And they are going to score again. Yet another touchdown as they just add to their totals. Looking like they're well on their way to a 2-0 start. All smiles right now on that sideline, isn't it?
As well there should be. It's hard to win a game in the NFL. We hear it all the time. We know that it's difficult. But guess who's smiling? But inside is thinking 24-hour rule, because we're going to have to play again next week.
Boss man.
Oh, without a doubt. The head coach, he wants him to feel good, but at the same time, find a way to keep improving.
And he's able to put it through. Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. This is fielded a couple yards deep. The Bears offense now gets set to head back onto the field. They are just obviously getting shellacked here in this one, Charles. What's the message if you're a coach for this final drive in a lopsided game like this?
For a lot of coaches,
be honest,
I'm going to forget today. Don't forget what has happened.
The Vikings after it, and they get there for the sack.
This has been a tough one for this offensive line. It appears almost like they've been on roller skates this entire game, the way they've been pushed around. 6 sacks given up in this one.
Here we go now. Green 39. Green 39.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line. And some secondary help here for the defense in the nickel on 3rd and long. He'll look to throw. Oh, a scrap for the football, and he's going to come down with it. A really good pickup of 28 yards. And another timeout called by the Vikings now. That'll leave them with just one remaining in this 4th quarter of play.
Let's go. 3-19. 3-19.
And we've got movement. I think this is against the Bears here. Let's find out. And that'll set them back 5.
Here we go now. Blue 90. Hot. Blue 90.
They'll look to throw here. He couldn't quite hold it. Got hit. Ball pops out. Incomplete.
That would have been a great catch, but it's real difficult to hold on to it because it was contested all the way. Would have been a great play if he'd been able to haul that one in.
Here we go.
Back to throw here. And that's going to be too high. Out of bounds and incomplete.
Coverage was excellent downfield. I think he was more throwing that football away than anything else.
Yeah, absolutely, because everywhere you looked, they were covered.
Sometimes it's better to go ahead and be convinced that there's no place to fit in the football than to go ahead and force it and turn it into a bad play.
And that will be incomplete with a clock showing 18 seconds now to go.
Got to be wary of throwing an interception here because the defense knows they're going to get tested deep. That's why they're going to put a couple of extra guys back there to try and prevent that.
Yeah, late in the fourth quarter here, trying to preserve the lead. Averaging over 50 yards a punt so far as this one's away. The call for a fair catch, and it's made at about the 23-yard line. It's just a 30-yard punt that time, no return. And control of the football, switching hands here with very little time remaining in this contest.
Let's go. 190. 190.
He'll look to throw. Curley's got it, complete. And he is out of bounds on the other side of midfield. He got 29 yards that time.
Well, go ahead and throw the ball, man. You got the big lead. You got the clock on your side. Obviously, they don't care much about the feelings of the other team, do they?
Well, I was going to say, you better run to the locker room pretty quick after this one.
Well, right now, maybe they're just looking at it from the fantasy perspective. More points for everyone if they win big.
They'll rifle this one deep right side. And it's incomplete. They're still throwing to the very end, but now this game is over. But, Charles, it's one thing to win. It's another thing to win and put up the amount of points that they did. Boy, were they clicking on offense.
They can't help but feel great about themselves, Ken.